Let's do our cold open idea. Edit out all this bullshit. I want to talk about your voice.
I only think a podcast can be successful if you have a good sounding voice, and I've never really thought I had a good sounding voice.
My voice sounds like if you gargle water for a really long time and then you talk as like a valley girl.
But one time apparently somebody came up and told me that I had a beautiful voice, and I don't remember this at all.
I remember. It's the only thing I remember because I was jealous because you were getting a compliment and I wasn't. This little teenage boy, he came up to he was like 13 or 14. Like he's little.
Mhm.
And he was like, you have a beautiful voice and you're beautiful. And it's crazy you don't remember that because like he was really earnest about it. Like he was like just like very like he needed to tell you that.
What fair was this?
What if I dreamt this?
This wasn't a real thing.
I didn't. No, it was at the Royal Stag. That was where I was at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think it was the one that. No, it wasn't the one that we yelled at. We didn't yell at him. You remember that one kid we had to talk to?
Oh,
he was very sweet.
He was nice. He wanted to be involved just like a little too much, but he kept like. We talked to the audience in our show, and he kept coming up to us and going like, "You're breaking the fourth wall," and I'm like, "That's the point."
It's my show.
Like heckle us in a funny way.
If you're gonna heckle us, heckle to make me laugh. Don't heckle to make me feel weird.
That's exactly what I'm saying. No, but between shows, he was like sitting there. I think it was before our next show started. And I was like, "Hey," and I didn't even have to say anything. I was like, "Hey, I think that." There's a healthy way to purchase. I don't know exactly what I said, but then he immediately was like, yeah, I know, I'm good. And I was like, oh, okay.
And he was good. And he literally
he was an awesome participant after
that. He was a cool
kid.
Yay. All the other kids we ever worked with though, just terrible.
The worst.
Just awful.
Absolutely.
I cannot stand children. Anyway, on what we do in our lives. I work with children.
Yeah, don't you work with children?
I work with children in a multitude of ways. But I want you to introduce yourself first.
Okay. We should say hi. This is
hi. So I'm counting. 1,
no.
2, 3. Hi. This is the Fatal Femme Files.
Oh, that
so
was
nerdy. Really yucky.
That's so dorky.
No, let me say it. Okay. Hey guys. Let me do it a structured way. Hey guys. Welcome back to the Fatal Femme Files. Mm-hmm. Dun, whatever.
We're gonna talk for like an hour. Anyways, my name is Jessica. On stage, I am Scarlet Swift, and we are the Fatal Femmes. We're a Renaissance sword fighting comedy show.
You know how awesome that is to introduce to your like new boyfriend's parents?
Oh my god, it's so much fun to tell people.
It was really awesome. They have a picture of me as Azalea hung up on their fridge.
Really?
I gave a picture to him because I wanted it to be cute. Like, put it in your car. And then he went, "Hey, Ray," which is my name, by the way. He went, "Hey, Ray, my mom did hang that on the fridge." And it's like next to like their wedding picture.
Oh,
and it's like, I literally met them once. When I was leaving his room.
That's so quick. Like they're into you already.
I think they really like me.
That's awesome. No,
they also bought me a sandwich today. So
ooh.
Shout out Jennifer and Dan.
I like that you had to remember their names.
Shout out Jennifer and Dan.
No, I literally love telling people that we are like, I'm like, oh yeah, I do like professional sword fighting. But what sucks is sometimes I get people who think I'm trying to hit each other. I'm like, no, it's like stage combat. It's like stage.
It's like cute and fun and awesome.
But
it's not lame.
It's like really, they're real swords and they're real weapons, but it's just staged. And then they're like, that's not real sword fighting. I'm like, it is. It's just a real type,
Yes.
Anyways.
Anyway, back to my introduction.
Who are you?
Yeah. My name is Ray. My character's name is Azalea the Jester.
Yay.
A funny guy.
So we do the Fatal Femmes Fables on stage, and the Fatal Femmes Fables, like I said earlier, which you might not have heard. I might have cut that out. Is a sword fighting comedy show. And basically the storyline of our show is there is a princess and a jester comes to perform a show for her, and they end up getting into an argument. And the resolution of their many arguments seems to be sword fighting every single time.
That makes sense.
And That's what most people do,
Yeah, I
right?
feel like it's natural.
That's
to want to stab someone.
The normal progression. That's
Yeah.
why I have a knife in my hands right
Because
now.
you're getting ready for when you're annoyed at me in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
And so our show is about that, and we try and be as entertaining as possible.
We're entertainment. We're not comedians.
Yeah. That's the thing.
It's like our key.
We're entertainers. Like, we need to switch the name. It's like a sword fighting. Sometimes I like when people say, or when you
hawk for our own show. Yeah.
When I talk about our show, I say sword fighting stories because I like that.
That's
like
cute.
It's a story. It's an entertaining thing.
Yeah. Well, I can't be funny all the time because I'm a really deep person, so I'm really lost in my thoughts a lot.
Very sad.
I'm really sad and
in my
emo.
feels.
Yeah, I be thinking, you know.
Do you want to talk about the interactive element of our show? Because that's like the other important part of our show.
Yeah, I'll talk about that part. We ask the audience. We talk to them. We look at them. We go, give us material that's funnier than anything we could ever write, and they do, and they give us funny jokes and words. And it's called Fab Libs because Mad Libs is copyrighted.
Is that why?
Yeah. I mean, is that not?
No,
accurate?
no, it is. It is because ad-libbing is like a thing, right?
Yeah, I knew that that was a thing by itself and that wasn't taken.
But yeah, so we kind of do a fill in the blank style show where we have a sort of baseline where we ask our very nice and wonderful, lovely audience members.
And they give us weird, awkward answers.
Like, do you remember that?
Icky answers.
So there's this moment in the show where I ask, you ask somebody's name.
Yes.
And we use this person as Azalea's dad throughout the entire show.
Yes.
And this person didn't feel comfortable giving their own name, and so they came up with the name Doinkus McTinglebottom.
McTinglebottom, or was it Dinklebottom?
No, it was Tinklebottom because
Tinklebottom.
Because so I have to say this name.
You made the P joke.
Well, I have to say this name throughout the show because it becomes Azalea's last name, and we refer to this audience member throughout the show, and I have to say it over and over again, and I couldn't get it right. I was like, it's Dorcas or Doinkus or Tingle or Tinklebottom. I couldn't make it through the show because I cracked up every time I heard it. It's lost its luster now because I think about it probably 20 times a day. But
because I wake up and I think of it and I go, oh my god, what a genius.
I wake up and I think, if only we were that funny.
We should have hired them to write our material.
What was funny is they Venmo'd us afterwards the tip for us, and it was titled Tinglebottom Family Inheritance.
It was like, well, it was like $5.
Yeah.
Really,
that was my favorite tip we've ever got.
That was pretty. I don't know, one time we got a $50 tip. I like that one a lot.
You're just promoting. Hey guys, tip us.
I
lots
love
of
money. I love money. I love it. I love it. I love it. That was a joke. And I mean, no, it's not. But like,
it was serious. But
it was
please
serious, but
don't feel pressured.
But do feel pressured to pay me money.
So how'd you get into this?
How'd I get into this? Well, not for money. Let me tell ya. I don't get paid anything.
Oh, we perform these at Renaissance fairs. I didn't say that at all.
You did say you said they were Renaissance.
Okay, cool.
I mean, we say again, we're Renaissance actors. We can tell by our fantastic demeanor.
We are. The official classification of us is that we are a Renaissance fair stage act. So we're contract workers at different fairs around Michigan and hopefully more places in the future. So how did you get started in doing Renaissance fairs?
All right. All right. Let's wrap it up. Imagine this. You're 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You have no friends.
I can imagine.
So you can imagine already.
That's me right now.
You're 13. Weird.
What's the no friends part?
So you're 13. You have no friends, and your lovely, amazing mother is like, you need to get out of the house because you're turning into a weird person, and you need to be well-rounded.
This really sounds very familiar
yes.
to me.
So then she finds an ad for a Renaissance Festival on Facebook.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
it was a Facebook ad?
It was one of the really terrible ones that looks like it's going to kidnap your kid. And she sent me in there with my sister. and they sat me down and they went, "How old are you?" And I went, "I'm 13 years old." And they went, "Awesome, we're gonna hire you for 12-hour shifts. We're gonna make this kid work."
Wait, was there was more of an actual real life process than that? Was that for the bit, or
that was literally it.
Really?
Yes.
I thought you were making a joke.
No, I went, "I'm 13." And they went, "Perfect. You're hired."
Wait, what happened to your sister in all of this?
She was also hired. She hated it. She couldn't handle it. I could.
How long did she last? I didn't know she did it.
1 year.
What was her flower name?
Delphinium.
Oh. I feel like I've heard you say that name before.
I have. Well, I love name Delphinium because you can say Delphi, and I think it's really cute because that's a name.
That is a really pretty name. It's like Elfie from Wicked.
Yeah, or like Delphi, like the name.
So you got hired by the Michigan Renaissance Festival.
I got hired by Michigan Renaissance Festival.
What is the role that you were hired to do?
I was hired to be a peasant dancer, which is, no one knows what that is.
Yeah,
no one knows what a peasant dancer is.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what the queen is. Everyone knows what like a villager is, like the cobbler. But like I was, you dance around a pole.
No.
You dance around a maypole.
There you go.
There we are. You dance around a maypole. And I did it so good. I did it so nice that they promoted me to run it. So I do that. I run it.
Yeah. So it's like so what Ray is describing is being on resident cast at the Renaissance Festival, which is different than being a stage act because you were employed by the Renaissance Festival, and they do dances at regular times throughout the day at the Maypole, and then they also have times where they go out in the lanes and they do lane work where their job is to just be in character as a person from the Renaissance and interact with the guests that come into the fair. So how did I get into Renaissance fairs? Because we eventually had to meet to do the Fatal Femme Files. I'm sorry. Sorry, she's just aggressively petting the dog, and he is obviously loving it. So my dad, when he was in his early 20s, met his best friend, whose name is Dave. You're being so distracting right now. Stop it. My dad met his best friend Dave, and they were both absolute nerds, and so they did all the nerdy things. They watched nerdy movies, they went to Renaissance fairs, etc. And then after doing nerdy things for long enough, they thought, what if we were sword fighters? And what if we sword fought and tried to perform at festivals? And so they did. And then my dad has been doing Renaissance fairs for the past 25 years. And I was kind of born into the Renaissance environment because, like, my mom would bring me and my siblings when we were kids and stuff. Super fun, super lovely. Both of my siblings grew out of it. They thought it was weird and embarrassing. And
it's not.
And then I just became weird and embarrassing also. That is me now. So I grew up in the Renaissance fair environment, coming to the fair with my dad. And then as I got older, I came more and more frequently because I fell in love with Renaissance fairs because I liked the people, not necessarily because I liked dressing up. I wasn't an avid theater kid when I decided that I liked fairs. I liked conversation. And I feel like everyone at fairs makes good conversation. And then I met the worst conversationalist backstage because my dad shared a backstage area with a group called the Peasant Dancers.
And the coolest person in the whole wide world decided to grace you.
The worst conversation.
The awesomest person in the whole wide world decided to talk to you. And we were both super weird, annoying kids. Yeah.
Matched energy very well.
It was a perfect time because it was like I was like at the weird age in the Peasant Dancers where I was like the odd one out because they were all older than me at that point. I think. Or yeah, because I was like 16 and they're all like 18, 19, 20.
I don't remember that at all.
I definitely remember that.
They were all older than you?
I think so. Maybe I'm lying.
I feel like we kind of, no, maybe that's this year. We might have bonded over us being older than them.
That could be true too. I was the youngest and then suddenly I was oldest.
Yeah.
Because it was like I was 13 and then everyone was 20 and then I was 14, I was 20 and 15, 20 and I was 16 and then everyone was 13. And it was like, what happened?
That was very confusing. That was a lot of numbers.
That was a lot of numbers. I'm not very good at math. That's why I work at Renaissance festivals.
But So we met, and the original plan for me was to join the Rogue Blaze show one day, and then they just never died.
We're working on it.
I was gonna take over their show, but they want to do that forever and ever, and I was impatient. And I finally met someone that I was like, she could be an actually good partner to work with and do a show with. And so one time I FaceTimed her and I said, "Do you want to try and write a Renaissance show with me?"
And I was outside in the snow. I
Really?
remember that. I was outside in the snow outside of my old dorm. And like I was like, yes, are you kidding? What?
I think she was waiting for me to become disenfranchised with taking over my dad's show, because I was kind of stubborn. I was like, I'm gonna take over the Rogue Blades show. It's gonna happen so soon. And she was like, but we could do something together. And finally, I think I just broke down. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I forced you to it. I made you hang out with me.
But it has been the best decision, because I like that we are our own unique show. Like we do things with the Rogue Blades, like we'll film videos with them and we'll interact with them on social media, and hopefully one day that we can do actual live interactions between the Femmes and the Rogues. But I like that we are our own unit, and at times we don't have to ride the coattails of them. I don't have to name drop my dad.
Yeah, let me say, I have no coattails to ride.
What I'm saying is you got to use what you got, you know?
I got nothing.
And I got a famous dad, an incredibly successful dad. So I am going to ride that Nepo baby high to the top. He's famous in the Michigan Renaissance Festival scene.
really sweet. That's like being like, he's famous in my school because he's popular, because he has 6 friends instead of 3.
Sorry. Yeah, he's famous in this really niche, non-popular way.
I feel like we should talk about like the brainstorming of our show.
I remember texting you about it and being like, I want it to be Barbie movie.
I want it to be Barbie movie.
That's all I remember is I was in a Da Capo, which is a coffee place in my town. And I was like, it's just got to be Barbie movie.
I remember specifically when we were plotting it, like thinking about it, is like I never wanted to be like a cat fight. Like,
yeah,
I really did not want it to be, and like I still hate it. Sometimes guys, especially, will like when we're fighting, be like, cat fight.
Every time.
Like, my best comeback is like, I'm a bunny. I'm not even a cat, bro.
Like, my character is a bunny.
Oh yeah, I like bunnies a lot, so that's my joke.
Yeah, I think that when we were developing a Renaissance show, because historically people in power in the Renaissance were men and women were treated not as great. It was important to me that we develop a show that it's not a feminist show, because I wanted to normalize, not just me, of course, you also had these desires, but I wanted to normalize us being strong, powerful women who could have a conflict and hate each other, that was not surrounding girl power or surrounding fighting over a man or surrounding like, oh, we're strong because we're women. I didn't want to commodify it like that. I just wanted it to be, because men always get stories that are, this is a story about a man and it's a storyline. Like the man gets a plot, and women always get storylines that are, the plot is I'm a woman. And we wanted our show to not be that. So it's a normal like Renaissance plot line or fantasy plot line. I don't know, because we sometimes aren't Renaissance.
Yeah, it depends on where we're at.
But a normal plot line that is a feminist message, because it's not a feminist message.
I get it, because like if you're making something that's inherently feminist, like inherently like that is your main goal for it, then it's nothing else.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's a story. It's just a story, and we happen to be girls.
It's like if you have you seen Avengers Endgame?
Yes.
So in Avengers Endgame, in the big final fight, they have this moment where all of the female fighters are teaming up to transport the Infinity Gauntlet. And it's this big thing. It's showing how tough they are. But in the back of my mind, I love it, don't get me wrong, I love it because I love seeing powerful women because we need powerful women in media. But it's always like, oh, they put this together because they are women.
Mm-hmm.
That is the only reason this group of people is together.
They would make no sense for them to be together otherwise.
Yeah.
They have nothing else in common.
Yeah, and it's like, I get that you're like trying to show how many strong and powerful women, but I would rather you show the strong, powerful women participating in the fight just like anybody else.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a good point. And that's like, that is like so important. Because I don't know, you put it in a very beautiful way. I'm less beautiful with my words.
No, you're good.
But absolutely. And I just, like, I wanted our show to be fun and fun for everyone too. Like, I don't think we have an audience. Like, and I mean that not, I mean,
yeah.
true. But also, like,
we have nobody wants to watch us.
No, but like, I don't aim any of the jokes for anyone in particular. Like, I want them to just be funny because I think they're funny. So, and my humor is so sporadic and goes along. But you may disagree with that. You may be aiming for, but I know personally with Azalea, with the character, it's like, it's an anybody character.
No, that's like a really good point because we could make a show that I see this a lot on like Broadway and on popular, like when you're a really successful actor or when you're a Broadway performer that does the same show 8 times a week and you're doing it for like months and months and months, is you can get sick of your own content. And so we could have chosen to do what my dad's show did, what the Rogue Blades show did, which is making jokes that are like dad jokes and jokes that hit every single time. But we don't enjoy those jokes.
No.
We enjoy the odd, quirky, out-of-pocket jokes that probably only half our audiences get. But by doing that, we are constantly enjoying ourselves because that's what we love.
Absolutely.
And I like that a lot. And that was another important thing is like, yes, we're doing this show that like has a plot line and is important, but that's where our Fab Libs comes in. And that's where our silly jokey style
silly jokey jokes
comes in, where we do stuff off the cuff. Is we want to constantly be enjoying ourselves. And that's why I don't like when we describe ourselves as comedians.
Yeah.
Because we're just there to be entertaining, and you can think that our jokes are funny, but as much as it's for you guys, this is also for us.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Like, I feel like in order to be a good performer, you have to be selfish.
Yeah.
And I think I'm funny. That's all I really care about. Same thing of like most of my jobs. It's like, I'll only take a job if I'm funny during it. Like, if I think I'm being funny, if I think I can enjoy myself during it, like, why else would I take the job if I'm miserable?
Yeah. I was thinking, because we haven't been in Renaissance fairs for that long, or at least doing a stage act. I'm curious on how the other stage acts, because we know that the only people that are still doing Renaissance fairs, after those that are doing it after 30 years of performing, after 40 years of performing, they are still doing it because they love it, and we all have different things that makes us love it. And so I'm curious on what each performer would classify as the thing that keeps them fresh. You know,
that's a good, man, if only we had friends to bring on here.
So Ray has 3 different characters. We could get back to talking about characters.
Yes, yeah.
Ray has 3 different characters from her time in performing.
Yes. Okay. So we have Azalea. Okay, I gotta do the whole name so you don't get confused. Marie Azalea Bunny. Or Azalea Bunny, that's what I'll call her. That is the original character. That's the OG Azalea. She was a peasant dancer, so she was around like 16, like that was her age. And she was basically supposed to be like a bratty older sister. For the ensemble, she was kind of like a supporting role to make other people have personalities, basically.
Which is something that you constantly are doing. Yeah. And I love that about you. You really want to, you really do try and help other performers shine.
I think I have a thing I do sometimes on stage, specifically on stage, but also like in general, where I get really into my own jokes because I think I'm really funny.
Because you are.
Yes. That's true. And then so like I'll take a little bit too much, you know? And I'm not a takey person. I'm actually kind of the opposite of most of my characters, I feel.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not a colorful person. Like, I enjoy... This was really hard to muster up this much color because I wear a lot of, like, grays and stuff. But, like... So I like having characters that other characters can bounce off of and that, like, push other people to be, like, to improve.
Mhm.
Because, I mean, I always have to improve, too. I'm not saying I'm, like, really good because I'm kind of a terrible actor.
Mhm.
But it's just, like, I don't know. I like helping people. I don't like being the only person that succeeds, which I think is why I do so well in ensembles and in
that's
groups.
why you do well as one of your other characters, Miss You.
Yes. Oh my god, that was like a beautiful transition.
Thank you.
Miss You. She's what I transitioned to after I grew out of Azalea and I became a lead, because you can't be a lead and be an orphan. Which Azalea's an orphan. So
Yeah,
it's like,
peasant dancers are orphans.
They're orphans.
They're part of an orphanage.
Yeah, we really should explain the whole concept, but I like the little snippets.
You only know if you know. So.
Yeah, you only know if you know. You have to be in. Then, yeah. So Miss You. So when I was in charge now of these kids with Daisy, who's one of my best friends, who's also like a co-lead. When I was put into a leadership position, I want to have a character that was less confrontational. Azalea's really confrontational. I want someone that's much more like in the background. So I made Miss You, whose whole thing is love. Like, she wants to find love and romance, and her whole thing is she goes like, I miss you and whatever, because it's gross and disgusting. So just like a lovey character to kind of support the kids in like a loving way and like a genuine, like, because the kids we have like genuinely, like, it's kind of a mentorship job. So it's like, you want to, like, they're growing up, you know, you're trying to help them grow up. So it's like, I wanted someone, like, a character that can reflect that. So like, even in the lanes, they know that they're like safe.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then also I scream at people sometimes. So,
but what's great now at this specific point in your career is that Miss You is there to support other people, and you at times will step back so the kids can shine when they're doing their bits in the lanes and such. But then in our show, which is happening simultaneously at different points, you get to be Azalea the Jester. Azalea the
Jester, whose name is a direct ripoff from Azalea, because I took custody of that name.
Yeah.
Which is like, in the Peasant Dancers, it's like a cult. It's not. Where you have like your flower name, because we're all flowers. And Azalea was my flower name, and I played her for so long, and I had such like a strong tie to her that I got to retire the name. So it means it's my name. They can never use Azalea again in the PDs, but I can use Azalea for what I want. So I was like, well, I need a name for a character, and I went Azalea. And then also the joke ultimately is like, Azalea Bunny hated actors, because we used to have actors as characters on our cast.
Oh,
which is,
so you had players.
We had players
on resident cast at Michigan Renaissance.
Yes, Festival. So people that they were called mummers, is that what they call, and they were actors. They'd want to act out things. And Azalea thought they were really gross. And her dad, the person that adopted her eventually. But like, the joke ultimately is Azalea Bunny hated actors so much, she hated them, that like, now Azalea the Jester is a jester, like an actor. And like,
then she became
an actor. Yeah, which is like really funny because it fits her personality still of like, she's an attention whore. Like, she loves attention. So
how does that contrast? Because I'm interested in how Miss You like lets others shine. And do you feel in our show as Azalea the Jester, do you think that Azalea the Jester is more brazen?
I eat you up, bro. I eat you up. I don't mean to. I mean, like, I think, no, we definitely have our push and pull, because our personalities, especially when we're acting, like, our characters complement each other so well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We are each other's foils.
It works. And, like, I don't think either of us is ever overwhelming. Like, I think we share really, really equally.
So the way that my character works is I play Scarlet Swift, a princess who then throughout the process of the show becomes a former princess. And Scarlet, when I was thinking about how I wanted to build, what are you looking for?
I lost my tea. Oh no.
It's over here.
Yay! I was like, oh my god, where'd it go? Keep talking.
So when I was developing Scarlet, I realized that, so I actually used to be a theater performer, and then I decided to go to more of the backgrounds of musical theater for a career. But in Renaissance, I still wanted to be a performer. And so I realized that in order to want to be a performer on stage, I had to just do an exaggerated version of myself. So one of the aspects of my character that I made was I made her like very full of herself, which I try very hard in my everyday life to be confident because I am not. And so I will put on a fake confidence to try and help myself like myself more. And so I decided to make Scarlet just absolutely, her head is a balloon. Like she is an airhead full of herself. Not airhead dumb, but airhead is in like
giant ego.
Yeah,
massive ego.
That's the word. So there's that, and a good compliment that went with that was her wanting everything to be all about her and her wanting to be in control, which isn't, no, that's a lie. That's also me.
Yeah.
In real life.
Yeah. I mean, a little bit. I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe.
I feel like I have good ideas and I put them to use.
I think that's good. Like, good for you.
But so yeah, so Scarlet, to sum all that up, she's full of herself and she wants to be in control. So she ends up in our show being kind of the guide, the narrator. And I try and keep everything on track. And then Azalea is the balance to that by being over the top and crazy.
Being messy, yeah. You're like the constant broom and I'm the constant mess.
Yeah. But what's funny is some people don't get that.
No, they think that like you, oh my God. They think that you are not giving your all, which is crazy.
At times people have had a hard time understanding that the balance where Azalea is an absolute star, where Azalea is over the top and happy-go-lucky, and Scarlet is serious and grounded. They think that that is because I am not giving my full energy. Like maybe if I had full energy, I could match that. But the only reason that our show can be entertaining, can be what it is because we balance each other out. And if it was all high energy,
it'd be deafening. It would be terrible.
You wouldn't hear a plot. Like even when we were writing our show, we riff on jokes together, and then I go back in, and oftentimes I'm the one that goes, okay, well, it's got to make sense with the rest of our plot. And like if you were watching the show and we were both yap like Azalea does, then
it wouldn't be a show. No, it'd be two girls standing up there screaming at each other.
It would be a stand-up act.
Yeah. Like, not even a good one.
It would be a really bad stand-up act.
Yeah. No, but you should be okay, it should definitely be said, like, you deserve the most credit for steering everything, because you definitely give everything like a, like, I think I give a passion. I give like an effort and a passion, but you definitely give everything like a meaning. Like you formed our show, and
like your life. Like I give your life meaning.
Not that far. I don't like it like that. This going back to the cat fight thing really quickly, just touch back on that. But that's the reason Azalea is like in love with Scarlet, is because it's like I don't want them to hate each other. Like I don't think they should hate each other. No, it's like Azalea's like in love with Scarlet, not even in a romantic way, just in a like devoted, like that is like my person, you know, like like that's like, you know. And like very similarly of like I'm devoted to my friends, so it's like you're like one of my best friends. And but yeah, not to be gay or anything. I can say that, guys.
No, I totally get that. Throughout the show, Scarlet starts out just hating Azalea for what she is, and we didn't talk about what the conclusion of our show ends up being, but the conclusion of our show ends up being that Scarlet and Azalea decide to team up together. And in the show, we talk about Scarlet wants to have more adventures, so she wants to go out and see the world, and Azalea wants more money because she's broke.
Yeah, loves money.
And so they decide to hit the road and be rogues and steal money and stuff. But also there could be a subtext there that we've never really talked about, of they need each other in other ways. Yeah. Like Scarlet needs to have more fun, and she needs someone that's that high energy, and she ends up learning that she likes that throughout the show. She ends up like, she's annoyed at every single joke, and every time you make a joke, I might tell you to stop, but you'll see me laughing.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's the same vice versa.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Azalea can need someone to rein her down a little bit.
Yeah.
She needs someone to tell her to chill out sometimes.
Yeah, because sometimes she's about to stab somebody
Yeah,
in the
sometimes
face.
she's literally about to like murder people, so it's like good that she gets chilled out.
Yeah, so sometimes it's good, and like we can still be what the other person is.
Yes.
Like, because we are not flat characters. We are 3D individuals, even as our characters on stage.
Mm-hmm.
So Scarlet can be ridiculous and silly, and I'll do funny little dances and make silly little jokes.
Well, I feel like we give a lot of ourselves to the characters.
Yeah,
because like it is a variation of ourselves. I think maybe you steer a little bit closer to Scarlet than I do to Azalea, but I don't personally feel like, although people will disagree with me, because I know that James and Dave have disagreed with me about my personality in similarity to Azalea's, like being like, you just go and play yourself. I genuinely don't think that.
I think that they think that because you don't like to do an accent on stage.
I don't like doing an accent on stage.
I do kind of a grand voice where I try and talk more like loud and diction and official, but I don't do an accent. But you talk how you talk.
I talk, yeah. Well, I think there is a difference in how I talk. I think I have like my voice like right now, like just me as a person, and then I think I have my showmanship talk, which is where, I mean, definitely my Midwestern accent gets out. It like some of those words are one continuous like but I don't know, I think like Azalea does have her own voice because she is much more confident than me. Like she goes out there and she's like her own thing. But if I did an English accent, it would become Azalea or Miss You, or it becomes like I need to separate them, you know, because Azalea has a high pitched English and Miss You has the low pitched English.
I totally get that. And you're not ditzy like your character either.
Well, no, I'm not. I don't know. I'm silly. Like I'm definitely like,
you are so silly.
Yeah,
we're very silly together.
We are very silly together.
But the jokes are like Azalea can't read.
Yeah, I can read. Believe it or not, I can read upside down too.
What?
Yeah,
upside down.
We already talked about Doinkus Dinklebottom, so don't worry about that. I got baby in a tip basket.
Oh my god. Okay, so we go out with our tip baskets, right? And these tip baskets are very thin and light. Oh, you know what I want to talk about in relation to this? Because it seems that I like to talk about real topics on this podcast.
I like it.
I find that it's coming out, and I think that that's what's going to happen in the future.
I like it.
And so let's talk about parasocial relationships.
Yes. Okay.
So.
Oh my god. I got a DM. I'm so sorry.
No. Tell me.
Yesterday.
Really?
Yesterday. And it was because my Azalea picture.
Wait, really?
Yes, it was because my Azalea picture. On my account, I got a DM from someone.
I promise we'll get back to baby in a tip basket, but we're gonna take a detour on parasocial relationships real quick.
So creepy. They go ELLO, my
Hello.
dear wizard. And they're like a role play account, but like in all seriousness, like they are that. Like I don't even know how to explain it. Like it's like really creepy.
Let me see. Hello, my dear wizard.
Isn't that so grody? And it's like I get stuff like that a lot. Like when I was on the apps, I get stuff like that all the time with them being like, because I have my little Azalea picture. I have a really nice picture where I'm Azalea.
This might be a not real person.
That's it.
There's only one picture.
Yes, they're not real. Isn't that scary?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm getting murdered. No, but like, you know, so like in the past, like if I have my Azalea picture up where I'm posing like in a big smile and I have wizard makeup on, a wizard hat, people will be like, I'll cast a spell on you. You know, it's like, ew, like it's weird. And it's like they think, or they'll be like, you're a funny clown. I don't know, like weird pickups with it. And it's like, it's grody. That's like most of my parasocial stuff I get. But
so if anyone doesn't know what parasocial relationships are, it's something that's become a lot more prominent now with the prevalence of social media, but it can happen with live performers as well as it does with us, where someone as an audience member will see someone on stage, and this person on stage may be seeming very, very real, and the audience member feels like they know the stage performer very well, but the stage performer doesn't know that audience member at all. And so often people will have what's called a parasocial relationship, where they feel they have a true close relationship with that performer. And it's okay. It's okay to feel like you know a performer. It's okay to love a performer. Like when you watch a YouTuber and they're sharing like intimate moments of their lives with you, like weddings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it's okay to feel happy for them and feel excited for their victories and want to know them. However, some people do take it a little too far, where they don't understand that there is a boundary, where they will come up to us like after our shows and they'll hit on us.
Yeah.
Or they will going back to earlier, like make commentary on our show.
Yes.
When they do not know who we are and what we've put into it.
Yes.
And so parasocial relationships are definitely an issue, especially in the Renaissance world, because most people that are on stage performing, like comedians or Broadway performers, etc., they don't go and intimately interact with the people they're performing for.
Yeah.
Like even at a stage door, there's a velvet rope. Whereas we as Renaissance performers, we're performing on stage to maybe 100 people sometimes. And then we go out and we're talking to them and we're like walking around the fair with them and we're eating our lunch right next to them. And so we're almost spending a day with these people that feel very close to us, which is super fun. It's so fun to get to know these people and interact with these people, as long as they are still respectful of the fact that we are real people that they do not know. Did that make sense?
No, absolutely. No, I definitely agree with all that. It's such a weird line, like because I mean, you are so much better at talking to people than I am, like which people I think don't expect when I'm on stage, because when I'm on stage, I'm like, I have my character, I have my bit, I know what I'm doing. But the second I come off stage and like I have to talk to someone face to face, I get really awkward, and people get like disappointed. Like
Aww.
I know they get disappointed.
It's not to say that we don't love meeting people. We love meeting people when they come off stage, and we would love to be introduced and be like, hi, my name is blah blah blah, I enjoyed your show. And that's super fun. And yeah, it's hard to understand. It is hard to understand that line. And it's so sad that people might get disappointed. You know, it's because you're an extrovert on stage.
It is, and I'm not an extrovert at all.
You're not an extrovert.
I'm really,
at all.
really not.
I'm actually probably a lot more extroverted than you in real life. But because you are the one that is constantly like happy on stage, then people, and I'm the one that's serious, people are like, oh, she'll be fun to talk to.
Yeah, and I'm not. I'm like super not fun to talk to. No, it's just weird. I don't know. The same thing of like people, I don't know if you want to talk about this. I was gonna say people definitely like you more as a daughter of the Roguelades.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We can talk about it because I seem to be liking real topics and stuff like that. So like I talked about earlier, my dad has been performing in Renaissance fairs for 20 years. And so I have had a lot of experiences with people in a lot of different capacities, because people become friends with my dad first. And so then they become friends with my dad, and then they meet me and they love me because I am the product of my dad, which is okay. Like it's like when your best friend has a kid, you love that kid immediately.
Yes.
Which is wonderful. And I have been so welcomed by everyone. And it's so sweet that people are looking out for me. People are respectful of me because of who my dad is. But I have run into this situation where we will be somewhere and we will try and make friends with people. And as someone who has always been in Renaissance fairs, I know how to make friends with people. I talk to people. I ask them about their show. I ask them about how everything's been with themselves, and, you know, try and make conversation. And there will be times when people are polite. Everyone's always polite. But they're like not really interested. And then I've had experiences where they will later find out who my dad is and then be incredibly interested in talking to me. They then want to be my best friend. It's not just polite anymore. It's like, let's be close.
Yeah.
Let's be friends now. And I was like, I understand that you like my dad. I like my dad.
Mm-hmm.
But if you initially don't think that I am the type of person that you would want to be friends with, that is absolutely okay.
Mm-hmm.
But please don't change your tune if you hear that I'm the daughter of Sir James, because I like to be liked for me. That's like such a cliche, but it's cliche because it's like a true thing. And like you've experienced it from watching that happen. What's that like for you?
Like the opposite side of it. Yeah. It's really interesting because I like very like, I mean, you have a lot of theater experience. Like we have experience in different ways. Very technically, I have more Renaissance performance experience.
You do.
Yeah. Like under my belt, and people don't ever treat me like that. They usually, if we're in a group, they're gonna refer to the show as your show, which is very disheartening.
People often think that that because I'm the daughter of Sir James, they think that I'm the owner of our show.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, we write the check out to you and stuff like that. No, it's a 50-50 partnership. Yeah. She has more Renaissance experience than me.
Yeah. But I feel like I'm kind of babied a lot in the area now of like, oh, this is your sidekick. And it's like, first of all.
No, I get it. And I get it from the same perspective of you at times, because I've also grown up in the eyes of my dad's fans.
Yes.
My dad's fans are so nice.
Yes.
However, and I've also had this with fellow performers that we absolutely love at the fair, that we are close friends with, where I started going to college. I started becoming an adult. I started broadening my horizons, broadening my language.
Yes.
You know, I started making dirty jokes and stuff like that. And the process of having other performers and fans of the Rogue Blades see me as the adult I am, it was very interesting to watch because it happened at a different moment for everybody. Like maybe when I turned 18, certain people were like, oh, she's an adult now, we're good. And then maybe 2, 3, 4 years later, somebody's like, oh my gosh, look at you, you're an adult and I didn't even realize. Or maybe halfway in the middle of that, someone goes, oh, I'm so sorry, I just cursed. And I'm like, guys,
you're good.
I was like, sometimes I have to stand up for myself and be like, I'm an adult. Like, that's who I am.
Yes. I think it also doesn't help if we both look somewhat young. Yeah, I think we both look a little young. And I mean, again, I work with teenagers, and like working in that group, which this is a purposeful thing to make sure people think we're a young group and to not be weird to us. But I will socialize with people outside of that group, other like cast members and stuff, and they'll treat me like a kid still. And it's like, I'm older than you.
Because you're part of the peasant
dancers.
And those are children.
Yes, which is like awesome. I love that energy. But also, I am a lead. And like, I'm like on like I'm a production staff too. So it's like, I'm technically. No, but you know, it's like one of those things. It's very weird. Where it's like, I think I project myself as young, and then I think maybe it's my own fault. Maybe I should start being more mature.
No, but like, imagine like you are a daycare worker, and you work with like 2-year-olds all day long, and then you go out with your co-workers after work, and they treat you like a 2-year-old.
That's what it feels like.
I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah. Let's never do this again.
Anyway, so we're gonna wrap it up.
Like, subscribe, follow for more.
Because Azalea's mic is dead, and
not the only thing. My heart and soul, my passion for this project.
Okay, well, that was the first episode of the Fatal Femme Files. We've covered silly things. We've covered serious things. We did not have a strong through line at all.
But what really matters most to us, other than not having a strong through line and being silly? Does that make sense?
No,
that doesn't make any sense. I'm so tired.
What she's saying is she's saying like That's just who we are.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's always gonna be forever.
So tune in next time to hear us yap.
If we get 1 like on this, we'll do a Halloween version.
That's that.
1 like.
Like us,
1
follow us, subscribe. I don't really know how podcasts work. Okay, bye.